I'm here with Rebekah Isaacs, the newly announced artist for Angel and Faith. So how did you get involved with Joss Whedon and season 9?
I think my contact with Dark Horse started when I worked with Brian Wood on DB8, and Sierra, one of the editors on Angel and Faith, was really close with Brian. They worked together a lot at DC, and so he had given kind of a personal recommendation to her, and Sierra contacted me about doing test work, and she was like a big cheerleader of mine when they were choosing the artist, and apparently I just heard that Joss liked my stuff when they showed it at the Writers' Summit, and I got the job, and it was the happiest day of my life. Seriously.
This video is brought to you by TFAW.com. Visit TFAW.com today and use the code WONDER at checkout to save $5 on your next purchase of $20 or more. TFAW.com. So how do you feel about the character of Angel, like over the years and how he's evolved?
Yeah, I love Angel. I love that he's got great conviction. He's the kind of guy that you can really depend on. I mean, I know so much of the story revolves around people being worried that they're not going to be able to depend on him if if something happens and he turns into an Angelus again. But he's just, I don't know, he's just such a great guy, and he's like the kind of guy that you would want to be friends with and have, behind your back. And I think everybody can identify with Angel and Faith, in that I think we all have things that we've done in the past to people that we maybe didn't mean to, or that we did things that just got out of hand, and that we'll always feel a little guilty about. And I think that part of that aspect of those characters is what makes people really identify with them and really sympathize with them, and I know that's what I really love about them.
Yeah. Did you know it was going to be called Angel and Faith when you were auditioning for it, or did you think it was just an Angel book?
I didn't really know exactly what I was testing for either. I was asked to do one page revolving around Buffy and Willow. It was a page from issue 40, and then I was asked to do another page involving Faith and Angel that was taken from season 8, but it was the page where Giles shows up in Faith's flat or in her apartment and recruits her to come to London with him. So they changed it so that I was drawing Angel instead of Giles, so they could get an idea of how I would draw those two characters together. But I didn't really know exactly what I was testing for or why I was drawing these particular characters together. I didn't find out that it was going to be Angel and Faith until I actually got the call telling me I got the job. So.
You've done Deviate, which is superheroes, but they're not really heroes. They're kind of just out for themselves. They're very flawed characters. So do you think that's going to kind of help you with dealing with these characters?
Yeah, sure. I think that every great character is flawed. I can't think of any that aren't, that people really identify with in the long run. You can think there are characters that I think are like, well, that guy is so cool, but they don't really stick with you unless they have those kind of flaws. That's why I loved working on DB8 so much, because I had to work with 8 of those kind of characters, and I think that's a big part of why I love Angel and Faith so much too.
How do you deal with capturing likenesses? How difficult was that when you were trying to get them right?
Yeah. Oh man, it was really tough at first. I really thought that I just wasn't going to be able to do it. And when I first got the request to do likeness test, I considered just writing back to Sierra and saying, I can't do this, I'm sorry, thanks for considering me, but I'm just going to have to throw in the towel. But I talked with some of my friends about it, and they were like, you really need to keep just pushing because it's something you're not used to. It wasn't. I had never done any sort of likeness work before. And with regular, superhero comics, you don't have to worry so much about getting the features exactly the same every single time, because it's the costumes that really define the characters mostly. So it took me a good month and a half to really get a feel for analyzing a face and figuring out which features really made them them. But now, I don't know, I think it's starting to become second nature to me, so hopefully.
Well, you've met Christos. What's it like working with him?
It's great. I feel really lucky that I've worked on 2 books now, Deviate and this, where I knew the writers' work very well beforehand, and I was a really big fan of theirs. So that's really exciting to work with him. He's just a really straightforward writer. I love writers who, you know, give the artist room to breathe and imagine things themselves and create new designs. And we've been working a lot with creating new demons for Angel and Faith to fight, and he's been really great and really supportive with that. So
yeah, I interviewed him earlier today, and he was raving about your monster designs and your creature designs.
Oh, cool.
And saying that he was going to stop trying to describe them and just let you do it. So,
yeah.
So just so you know. Have you been told to give it any sort of particular look? Like, I remember the early Angel series, I mean, they kind of looked a lot like Batman. Have they said, like, we want this overall tone to the book, or we want it to kind of look like this or that?
Yeah, definitely. They want to give it a very noir feel. A little gothic, but mostly like a noir film. Very dark and a lot of chiaroscuro and creepy vibes all around. And I think setting it in London will help a lot with that.
How much have you drawn yet?
I have up to page 18 finished, I think. Pencils only. I'm penciling and inking myself, so I'll probably be finished with issue 1 in about 2 weeks.
I can't wait. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Tfal.com, the world's best online retailer of comics and collectibles. Whatever you're into, we've got just the thing for your collection.